Hello and good afternoon, teacups. Welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. Welcome back to Teacup Castle. And guys, we're going to have an actual transfer show today. We've been doing our homework, we've been doing our roundups, we've been doing our reviews of all of the squads and teams around us. We have 6 more teams we're going to do, but today and tomorrow I'm going to try and catch up on loads and loads of the stories we've missed. So while we've been doing the roundup, there has been transfer rumours, transfer talk, transfer news, transfer stories going about the place. I have amalgamated them all. I have to say, at an accurate representation, I have about 100 tabs open right now. So we're going to do our best. I'm going to do an extra show tomorrow, so I haven't been doing Sunday lunchtime shows. But we're going to be doing transfer show tomorrow, extra show tomorrow, 2 shows on a Sunday, so I can catch up with all of the transfer news that we've been missing. I'm going to get through as many of them as I can today. We'll have a watch along later on, Manchester United, AC Milan. Tomorrow I'm going to do an extra show at lunchtime. We're going to go through the whatever stories we don't get covered today. We're then going to have a watch along for the Community Shield. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to do our squad reviews of the clubs we haven't done so far. And of course then on Thursday evening, we have the return of the Kai. So guys, it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be just a busy time for Spill the Tea Lou, for Teacup Castle, for the teacups, for you, for me. Okay? But before we do all of that, before we get started, happy birthday to Africa King, one of our teacups. It's Africa King's birthday today, guys. I see everybody in the chat wishing him a very happy birthday. So happy birthday from me to you, Africa King. A very welcome, wonderful teacup at Teacup Castle. Always a part of our shows, always a part of our chat. So welcome, and has been around with us for a little while now, Africa King. So happy birthday to you. I hope your day is wonderful and just that you enjoy it. Happy birthday. Now that we've done the happy birthday, everybody who didn't do it, get joining in. I also have to give 2 more special shout out, guys, to the other special teacups. Guess who? Guess who? Rob Always United has got the Foxy mascot in the chat. The mascot's in the chat. All boxed up as Unbox the Show. We've got the mask. We've got the mascot. We've got the unboxing. We've done the happy birthday. There's even coffee. So all that's left to do is to start on these transfer rumours, and they are rumours at this point, and that's us. Get your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. Where are you at? Into the comment section as I'm reading through the stories. We're going to get through as many of them as possible, and we'll do our usual. Do we think it's real? Do we not? Is it feasible? Is it not? How much nonsense do we actually think that this is? So the first one, and guys, do just be aware, some of these are going to be a little bit older because obviously I've not been covering them every single day. So some of them are going to be a little bit older. Some of them are going to be a little bit newer. I'm aware of that. It's just we haven't covered them here together. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the very first one I'm talking about is a little bit older, but we haven't spoken about it, so we're going to get to it. It's originally from that I saw Stephen Railston. Other people may have said it first, but Belgian sources have claimed United are tracking Club Brugge forward Nicolo Tresoldi, who has the kind of profile that United's data department admire. United's new recruitment strategy is centred on identifying market value. Well, that much we do know. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. I was like, that sounds like us. Value in the market. There's United. Sorry, and I've lost my train of thought. So, identifying market value. The club want to sign the talent before they become £100 million players, and Tresoldi fits the bill as his valuation could rocket in the next few years. So, came in Steve Railston, MEN. Okay, now, I was just excited when I saw the fact that we were looking at a forward. Now, I haven't seen a huge amount since. I think there was another couple of stories, similar sort of information. I've not seen it move forward. I've not seen any extra. I've not seen more news. I've not seen advancing in talks. I've not seen anything about personal terms. I've seen absolutely nothing since. Given that this report was on the 28th of July, we're now the 15th of August, I haven't actually seen anything about it since. However, we are going to look at it together because I was genuinely just very excited that we were looking at it forward. That's where I was at on this whole scenario. But as I said, I haven't seen, it's been 2 weeks, I've seen no new up-to-date news about it. So together we are going to look and see, has there been any up-to-date reports since that original report a couple of weeks ago. Transfer to United. Oh, that is not how you spell the word reported. Absolutely not how you spell the word reported. Okay, so now I'm looking to see update, because guys, I was busy opening all my tabs. I didn't have time to like go through everything bit by bit. So first reported initially, to be fair, by a Belgian newspaper, the 23rd to 24th of July, then obviously the one that we have just read, and then has any more come out? So nothing since the 31st of July. Sorry, no, I'm a liar. There were. August 13th and 14th, a new wave of exclusive updates that I clearly haven't seen yet emerged from Caught Offside. They reported that Manchester United had stepped up their interest but faced heavy competition from Barcelona, Chelsea and Spurs, with the players' price tag set between 45 and 50 million euro. Right, so United, Barcelona just don't even bother. Chelsea, Spurs. United, Chelsea, Spurs, all supposedly looking at them. Price tag between 45 and 50 million euro seems a bit of all right. Let me see. Let's get some information on the buckaroo. I never said hello to you guys. Oh my God, how rude of me. I didn't even say hello to you. I see everybody chatting away there. Lucky at all boxed up. Aussie Ange. Danny says is the one, and I'm sure Africa King says. I'm sure Africa King says that to us as well. There you go, Africa King. If we do want Tresoldi, we should get says as well. So there's a few people saying that. Let me see, who else have we got? I can't believe I didn't say hello to you guys. Harold is in the house. Hello to Harold and Tony and Flossie. Hello, you lovely lot, all the beautiful people. Lovely Luke as well in the chat. Pagey's here as well. Sorry I didn't say hello to you earlier, guys. My bad. Absolutely my bad. And there's our Shem. Shem was first, by the way, today, guys. I did see it like way earlier. I wasn't even halfway through the tabs, and Shem was first in the chat, even after changing it to live chat. So shout out to Shem, I did see you. Right, let's have a little look at Tresoldi. So he is a striker. He's a centre forward striker. He functions as a traditional clinical number 9, 1.86 metres. What age is he? Does it tell me that in the report? I'll probably tell me that in the report. What age is he? Us, Chelsea and Spurs. What a strange mix. He's 21 years of age. And then let's look at his thought mob. Because, guys, I have to be honest, after our conversation yesterday, I actually kind of feel like striker is more important in my head than it was before. I've always said striker, midfielder, left back, centre back. Those were always the four that I said. I feel like striker is actually more important, because when I looked at it, we have not had a striker for the entirety of pre-season. Like, just think about that. We've gone through pre-season because Sesko's not included in the squad for today. We have gone through the entirety of pre-season without a striker. And it's all, like we said yesterday, you know, you can put Xerxes in there, not great. You can put Cunha in there. You can put Mbumo in there. There's other players that can play in that position. But we've actually gone through the entirety of pre-season at Man United without a striker. I'm sorry, if that was any other club, there'd be an absolute meltdown. Why are we not melting down more over that? We don't have a striker. And I like Sesko. I think Sesko's very good. I enjoyed him last season. But we literally don't have a striker for the whole of pre-season. If he gets injured again, we don't have a striker at Man United. Can you imagine any other club of our size not having a striker? I'm sorry, I just think it's absolutely crazy. So strikers actually moved drastically up the list for me. So I that's another reason I kind of like the link, and I'm sort of just hoping that it's not paper talk, essentially. Why is it not giving me any of his stats? What is wrong with FOTMob, and why won't it give me his stats? Oh, because they have already started this season. No, I want last season, we friend. No, can I not change this to last season? Oh, for fright's sake. Because he plays for Club Brugge. Club Brugge have already started their 26-27 season. So it's given me the one match they've played instead of his actual stats. Why would you do that? And I can't figure out how to change it. Aha. Right, there we go. 25, 26. Right, but give me the stats for it. Oh, I should have been more organised, guys. My bad. Totally my bad. Okay. Right, we've got him. Last season. So obviously comparable strikers, comparable leagues. Okay, that's what it's going to be. Africa King says 19 goals and 5 assists. That's quite good. He outperformed his XG. I'm not normally one for XG, but he's done more than he was expected. He was expected to score 16 and he scored 19. He had 101 shots. So that's all right. What I wanted though was the ones we normally go through where they're in the top or bottom percentile for like chances, accuracy, all that stuff. So that's what I was hoping for. But look, we'll go with what we've got. He's not bad. 1.4 shots on target per 90. Assists better than 78%. He's a lot of green here. He's a lot of green on his stats. I don't have the normal stats I can go for, but he's a lot of green there. Like 19 and 5, did you say? 19 and 5 just in the league. 24 GA at 19 years of age. Isn't he 19? What did we call him? 21, sorry. That's all right, That's not so bad. His contract isn't up until June 2029. So there's no pressure or anything, but the price already looks good. Look, we'll see if anything comes of it, guys. We'll see if anything comes of it, because as I said, there's not huge amounts of news coming out about it. There's not loads and loads of like, it's going to happen, it's moving closer, personal terms and discussions with the players' camp. There's none of that really coming out. United are not the only team in from. But I think I wouldn't say no. I just wouldn't say no to anybody at this point. We need somebody to come in. But we potentially, if we were being choosy, would want somebody who could help Sesko along, that Sesko could learn from, not somebody to come in kind of on a par with him. Spurs definitely need attackers. This might be the kind of thing they go for. And Chelsea, they seem to be trying to get, not all, but a little bit older this summer. So I don't know. But if they're looking at moving on to Lap, which they are, it wouldn't be the craziest thing if they're looking for this kind of a player. It's possible. It's possible we see him, whether it be at United or elsewhere, it's possible we see him in the Premier League next season. As I said, I would take anybody at this stage. We need another striker. But I personally think probably at United what we need is somebody a little bit older to help Sesko along. For Sesko to learn from. But doesn't look like he'd be a bad signing for anybody. we will have to wait and see. Now the next one, because there's so many, guys, there's so many. Hold on, I need to take off the jumper. I'm absolutely roasting. Is the volume really low? Guys, is the volume really low for everybody? Let me know. Is the volume better now? Oh, good on Shem. Is that volume better now? I somehow turned the volume on the mic. So let me know. Is that volume a bit better for everybody? I accidentally had turned the volume down on the mic. That was my mistake. My bad, Shem. Normally I'm like, I haven't changed any settings, but I did. So let me know, is that better? Much better. Thank you very much to Shem. I know as well, to be fair, I know it can be different on different devices, like computers. Sometimes the sound is better than phones. But in this scenario, it was me. I was the problem in this scenario. So thank you very much for letting me know. Roz says, I'm still gutted we missed Welbeck. Would have been a great addition. Well, that was my suggestion at the start of the summer. Bonnie Senior says it's too loud. Well, turn your sound down, Bonnie, because for everybody else it's much better. So you turn your sound down if I'm too loud, because it's actually not even at the medium setting. So if I'm too loud, it's probably because you had it up from where I was before. So you turn your sound down. Can I start the stream again, says Grace. Not on your Nelly. I couldn't remember at all. Imagine me trying to repeat everything I've just said. I just wouldn't remember. I see we've also got Daz and Random in the chat. Hello to you lovely people. Let me see. What else have we got? But yeah, the good news is Shem is not going deaf. Africa King says, I really like the Belgium League. It's on the rise. Lots of talent. Grace, can't wait for the game to be over later. The Amram thing. Yeah, I'll be honest. For me, it's the same as every other preseason game. That's the way I see it. It's a preseason game because we're not playing Ruben Amram, we're playing AC Milan. You know, but that's too boring for people. You're not allowed to be boring. You're supposed to be dramatic. I do like being dramatic sometimes, but not fake dramatic when I don't feel it. I probably wouldn't like it if we lost to him, but more so because of what you're saying. Oh, they sacked him and now they've lost to him, blah, blah, blah. Or like, he's not won a single preseason game and then United come along and they lose to him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I would find that a little tiring. I hope we win, but I always hope we win. It's always nice to win. This Manu and Rashford versus Amram thing is actually really irritating because as far as I'm concerned, both Rashford and Manu behaved badly in those scenarios. So even though he was moved on, I actually don't think he was wrong. So yeah, I have to say, Grace, I'm with you. And I'm excited for the game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just not dealing with that. No nonsense, thank you. Let me see. Random says, we still have goals in the team. I don't think a 9 changes that much. I can't see Sesko being out much longer if he did have a blood pool in his shin. Sorry, I totally disagree, Random. A 9 changes an enormous amount. Imagine Man United only having one striker. I think that's like massive. Man United should never, ever, ever, ever only have one striker. We used to have 3 to 4. We should have at least 2. I totally disagree. Totally disagree. I'm so shocked. I'm not trying to like harp on. I'm just genuinely shocked by that take. We do still have goals in the team. That much I agree with. There's definitely other players in the team that can score goals. Totally agree. But a 9 is so important. And for me, like that, it's not really just about Sesko. It's about Man United, just as a club, should never only have one number 9. That's crazy. I find it interesting because it's just the complete opposite of my take. Like, it's interesting, but I'm also like, I'm taking it back. Fair enough. I'll think about that now. See between now and the show later on, because for me, it's actually more important than ever. But I'll think about that now, like between now and the next stream, just because it's so different. Yeah, absolutely not. Shev says, give us Lacey Heaven and a mass, or we will give you Richie and Solanke. You have been warned. No, thank you very much. Love it. Love it. Oh dear, right. Let us go forward. Have I gone too far forward? Africa King says, it's funny that Solis is at Arsenal now and I was raving about him for 3 months. Yeah, well, when we spoke about him, remember before he went, we spoke about him when the links were happening. We said he looked very, very good. His stats were massive. His numbers were massive in the last couple of years. He looked to be a really good signing and he now looks to have hit the ground running at Arsenal. So yeah, 100%. He looks to be very good. Random says, Solis isn't my cup of tea, but I can't argue the numbers. Mika looks insanely good. Shame PSG got their mittens on him. I think that can happen. So like last season, I thought Gyökeres's numbers were decent, but there's just something for me that wasn't quite clicking. Solis looks to be quite good, but I want to see more of him in the season. But I understand sometimes the numbers can be there, but you can still look at a player and go, there's something missing for me. Sometimes that is just opinion though, isn't it? Yes, Harold, watch along today indeed. Absolutely. Let me see. Rose says, even if Sesko was healthy all year, they are playing significantly more games this upcoming season. You need one for depth and rest. Yeah, that's where I am. Same as what we said about Bruno yesterday. Bruno doesn't get particularly injured, but I'd be more than happy to have Shea Lacey there to let him have some time off when he needs it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than waiting for him to get injured. All Box Up says, we need a backup striker. Do you want to give us Sesko and do you have no number 9? No, how about we give you Xerxes and you can give us Aronson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Okafor, any of them really. We'll swap any of those for Xerxes. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Mohammed says, hi all, just popping in. Can't stay long, but hopes we all have a good day. Guess wants more likes, people. Guess says get the likes in the chat. And you must do what Guess says. She's a baker. She'll hit you with her rolling pin. Okie dokes. Okie dokes. Let us move to the next one. So the next one is a left back. Jorge Salinas. So, Manchester United, this initially came from Diario Sport, to be fair to them. Manchester United are seriously interested in Spanish left-back Jorge Salinas as plan B to Lewis Hall, the deal that was never on. Salinas has a €16 million release clause and is prioritising a move to Barcelona. So, what we want to do is sell Harry Amas for €6 million, then buy Salinas for €16 million when he doesn't even want to come here. He would prefer to go to Barcelona. Well, that sounds like highly intelligent, doesn't it? That sounds like absolutely the best move you've ever heard in your life. And the thing is, according to Larry Whitwell, it's a £16 million release clause. So Diario Sport have said €16 million. Larry Whitwell has said £16 million. Much of a muchness, really, if we're fair. Much of a muchness, really. But I have to be honest, maybe they just reckon that this Salinas is, like, really better than Amas, because they obviously, to be fair to them, they obviously just don't think Amas is it. So they want to move Amas on and they want somebody better. If they sold Amas, brought in a replacement who is noticeably better, I would say fair enough, because you know what, you're improving the position. Not everybody's going to make it. Maybe he's not good enough. You've seen more of him than us. So okay, we can get over that. What is our problem with wanting players that want Barcelona? What is actually Man United's problem with wanting players that want Barcelona? Or or Real Madrid. But I mean, Marcus Rashford, Manchester born and bred, would rather be at Barcelona. Frankie de Jong, we chased and chased and chased and chased, despite the fact that we knew he wanted to stay at Barcelona. We did it this whole summer of talking about Tchouaméni, who clearly wanted to stay at Real Madrid, and now we're eyeballing this young man who wants to go to Barcelona. Can we just stop going for players that would rather be at Barcelona or Real Madrid? Because honestly, it's starting to just get a little bit jarring. I don't even blame the players. Like, it's a little bit jarring. So I hope we get a left back, particularly if we're going to sell Harry en masse. I would prefer it to be one that wants to come to Man United and not go to Barcelona. Because even if he does come, in a couple of years, if he gets better, he's just going to go to Barcelona anyway. And that was all right for Cristiano Ronaldo when he went to Real Madrid. It doesn't work with every single player. If your players are not committed to the project, for the most part, and you're a stopgap, or if most of your squad are only there until they can get somewhere better, I don't want that. Thank you very much. As I said, it can work with some players. So City aren't complaining that Erling Haaland at some point is going to leave. They knew what they were getting, right? As I said, it worked for us with Cristiano Ronaldo the first time. But you can't have a squad full of that. And we seem determined to go, who likes Real Madrid and Barcelona? Put your hand up. And then check, okay, of all the people with their hands up, who has a release clause? Excellent. We want you. We know you don't want us, but we can force you to come if we pay it. I mean, honestly. So I don't know if this young man is any good. Maybe he is. I'm sure he is, because otherwise, like, why would we go for him? You would hope. But I don't want him. I absolutely want a left back. I don't want a left back that before we've even really made an approach is saying I want to go to Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the point of that? I don't see the point. So no, thank you very much. Exactly, Paige. Why would you chase players who have stated they prefer other clubs? Why? Let me see. Oh, Rose was a baker. We've 2 bakers in the chat, people. We've 2 bakers. Why have we not got more cakes and breads? Africa King says it might be a revenge thing. I hope it's not, because we lose every time. I don't think we're making it any better. I think we're making it worse. Tony says, I thought ages ago Man United should have gone in for Anthony Robinson, could get him at a decent price, Prem proven, and he can do a job. There was talk, I don't know if it was fan talk or if there was any actual rumours, there was some rumblings of Anthony Robinson for maybe a week or so there, and then they disappeared, so it might be one that comes back out of the blue again. But yeah, there was people saying that would be a good idea. Africa King is saying that Jorge Salinas looks really good. The thing is, I'm not questioning his ability because I've no idea. I wish we would stop going for players that openly are saying, I want to go somewhere else, because it's a waste of time. Now, not like, see Mateus Fernandez, okay? He kind of wanted us, he kind of wanted Spurs, he was sort of open, right? Fairs, I don't really mind that too much. But when a player is actively saying, I want to be somewhere else, no thank you. So see this Tonali, I want to be in Italy thing, but I'll go to Spurs because they can pay me. Yeah, I wouldn't want that, thank you. So I do think there's a distinction between, they don't have to like live and breathe die hard Man United fan. But when they're actively saying, I want to be somewhere else, I mean, that should be a warning sign. And to be fair, I do have to be clear, I haven't seen anything moving forward on this. So there's every possibility that this sort of come out. United saw this and went, okay, whatever. Do you know, so from what I've seen, in terms of updates, we haven't pursued it any further. So I do have to be fair to the club. They haven't. I just find it so irritating. It always seems to come out so publicly as well, which I just don't understand. Let me see. Agents, that's how it gets out, isn't it? Boffman in the house. Boffman in the chat saying hello to everybody. Hopefully he doesn't jinx us and something goes wrong. Oh, and Harold, were you a former chef? Random, we've a baker's dozen in the chat. Let me see. So we've 2 bakers and a former chef. Although, to be fair, Harold, are you ever a former chef? I think you stay a chef. You're just, it's like, I hope people get this joke. So here, because Ireland was a very religious country, and we're kind of a little bit less so now in the modern day. And so people would say to you, do you know what religion are you? And so here you would say, like, maybe I'm a Catholic or I'm a Christian, but I'm not a practicing Catholic. So do you know when you fill in the form? I don't know, maybe this doesn't happen in other countries. When you fill in a form here, they'll ask you what your religion is. Maybe it's because of our history that ask you that stuff, but they'll ask us what our religion is. And so one of the things is Catholic, but you can say on it, non-practicing Catholic. So when you said that, my thought was like, so you're a non-practicing chef. Like, you're a chef still, you just don't work as a chef. Anyway, that's my tangent. That made sense in my head before I said it out loud. Hopefully some of you will understand. Oh, Flossie, hairdresser and beautician. I can see that. I can totally see that. Love that. Love that. Shem bringing the tone down. Shem says, do you know what's sad? Ollie Skip was Spurs Academy graduate and was seen as a future Spurs captain. Now I'm watching him play for Notts County in League One for Leicester. Oh, you're playing against Notts County in League One for Leicester. That is a little bit sad, to be fair. That is a little bit sad. Now look what you've done. You've made me sad. Yeah, we are. Look, You Got Rose says, we're building up a nice collection of shops we can set up inside Teacup Castle. I mean, lads, we're going to have our own Teacup Village one day. Oh dear, we'd need the circus permanently in town. We'll see if anything new comes out about this Jorge Salinas thing, guys. I'm putting it down to, there maybe was a preliminary conversation, would you be interested? It doesn't seem to have moved forward. He wants Barcelona. I'm cool with that. If you want to go elsewhere, I'm absolutely cool not moving it forward. I'm not cool we have to sign a left back, but I'm cool with not moving it forward. And Flossie says at this rate, Teacup Castle will be self-sufficient. Yeah, that's us. That's us. Yeah, but we're not a cult, says Gas. Not a cult. Now, next one. Lamine Camara. This is from Sports Pete O'Rourke, okay? We've mentioned him a few times in the summertime. Man United are considering a move for Lamine Camara. Monaco rejected a €50 million offer from Crystal Palace for the Senegal international. Chelsea, shockingly, are also monitoring the player. I don't know if us and Chelsea just have very similar taste in players or what it is, but almost every story that I have read about Man United being in for a player, the next thing you hear, Chelsea's in for them too. Or Aston Villa, to be fair. Aston Villa have been doing a lot of that this summer. Again, it just feels like quite loose, sort of speculative rumours. He's a midfielder. So far, the ones we've covered is loose links to a forward, loose links to a left back, loose links to 100 million midfielders. I have to be honest, guys, I'm still sort of on the whole, I don't think any singular journalist has any clue what's happening at Man United. It feels like they're genuinely just guessing. I don't think they've any idea. There's none of these. Do you know when we read links to other clubs and you go, that makes sense, I can see that. Like the wee chap we spoke about for Newcastle the other day, what was his name? He seems to be moving closer. He's all over my timeline, closer. But we had already mentioned him. And there's a few of them where I've seen we've discussed them, and you sort of feel like there's something in them. I haven't yet read a single United story where I go, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That feels like it's tangible. It feels like there's something in that. Not one. And it's really why I've not covered a lot of Man United stories when we're talking about transfers, because I just don't feel like any of them are actually going to happen. I feel like if we do go and sign another player, and that's an if, I don't even know if we're going to sign another one. I feel like if Man United sign another player, it feels like it's going to be kind of like the Santos Tielemans sort of thing. I don't feel like it's going to be one that's sort of loosely rumoured for a couple of weeks. I feel like it's going to be another one from nowhere. So I feel a bit like, not that it's a waste of time, because it's important to talk about these things, you know, and what's the point in having the channel if I'm not going to talk to people about the things. But my opinion on most of them is waffle, more waffle. Nobody, it has the feeling of people scrambling around trying to figure out what we're going to do. Nobody seems to actually know. And so I find it hard to get invested in any of the stories or any of the players because I don't believe that they're going to happen. If I felt like one of them was moving a little further or was getting a little more tangible, I would look at them a lot more closely. But it doesn't feel like that. So it's a little frustrating, if I'm honest. And I do spend a lot of time when I see Man United stories this window going, do you know, I don't think they know any more than us. And that's not an insult of them. I actually think it's a compliment to Man United, because we were the leakiest ship in the whole Premier League. Everybody knew everything. You couldn't wipe your backside in the Man United training ground without the whole press knowing about it. Everybody knew everything. Man United have publicly said numerous times, or put out briefs numerous times, that they're actively trying to stop these leaks from getting out. And from what I can see, they're doing an excellent job because nobody has a goddamn clue. Now, I do think a factor in that is that I also think Man United might not be 100% what they're trying to do, but their ideas seem to be kept much more quiet and much more speculative than any sort of concrete information. So it's not really a criticism of the journalists. I actually think it's more of a compliment to Man United. They set a goal and they appear at this moment in time to be achieving it for the most part. Now, I don't think you ever stop every single leak in any club, just the nature of the world. But I think they've done a very, very good job stopping the vast majority of them, considering how bad it was before. So I have to give them credit for that. I mean, I wish I was giving them credit for buying more players, but I have to give them some sort of a credit for doing one of the things they set out to do. Now, if they could set out to buy more players and then achieve that, I would be like really super happy. But that's where we're at. So I do struggle with Man United this summer. You've probably noticed when I speak about other clubs, I'm finding their transfers more exciting because they feel more real and tangible. When I speak about Man United transfers, I'm quite like, eh. And there is one more that I'm going to talk about. It's from Ben Jacobs, but I'll get into that in a minute. I do just want to have a little look at your comments as well. And yeah, Africa King says, the first time we've gone a summer without leaks. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's been ages and ages. Roz and Flossie having a little chat. Random says, the only player that took any time was Mateus. After that, it was out of the blue. Player signed. Exactly. Let me see. You got Roz also said the front office under Ineos has seemed to fix a lot of the leaks, so the signings they have completed were reported after they were done. And Flossie says, you know, that's how it should be at all clubs. Agree. Yes, Shem pretends he's in the dungeon when in reality he's in the east turret with sea views. Africa King says, I wonder if Adam Wharton's on the move. Hold on a wee sec. when I started this stream, this room was cool, and now it's absolutely roasting. It just holds so much heat. But Adam Morton has been such a weird one this summer, like a really, really, really weird one this summer, because it was the whole way through the season, it was Adam Morton, Elliot Anderson, Adam Morton, Elliot Anderson. Then the summer comes, Elliot Anderson's gone for 116 million. Right near the start of the summer, it was touted that Liverpool were interested in Adam Morton. Then it sort of came out that the asking price was around 100 million. And then I haven't really seen anybody credibly linked to him since. When it gets closer to the end of the window, when everybody's looking for choices, when time's running out and so are options, things might move there. So that might be a shout from Africa King. Absolutely, potentially could happen. But we'll have to see. The final boss is here. Hello to the final boss. Welcome to the chat. Let me see. Tony says, Tony's Newcastle. Newcastle do not want Baleba. I hope that's a smokescreen as we need to strengthen elsewhere. I think that's a smokescreen. I would be very, 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 very shocked if you get Baleba. Very shocked. He's not the price range you've been shopping in. He doesn't carry, other than being a little bit young. Like, you've been going for kind of 30 to 40 million, European, 20 to 24. So he fits in the age. Other than that, he doesn't really fit what you've been looking at. So I would be surprised. I don't think that's real. I think, again, it's speculation. I think maybe his agent has realised he's not getting to Manchester United and has now started to put other things out there. I'm so cynical. Let me see. You got Rawls says Brighton seem to be difficult to work with. Yeah, they do. They do. Absolutely. Lucky is very relaxed. He says we're doing 2 transfers behind the scenes that the media don't know about. I hope you're right, Lucky. I 100% hope you're right. Okay, the next one, guys. The next one on our 20 million long list of players that we're going to talk about is Christopher Nkunku. Okay, so speaking of AC Milan, Milan are prepared, and this is from Ben Jacobs when he does the weekly show on the United Stand. So he said this recently. Milan are prepared to sell Christopher Nkunku, allowing for a late market opportunity for Manchester United. When discussions about Garnacho were being held between United and Chelsea, so way back, United really liked Nkunku, okay? It has also come out from Fabrizio after Fikayo Tomori and Yusuf Fofana. Also, Christopher Nkunku has been included among players available for sale by AC Milan. He's been informed today by Ruben Amorim, as Sky Sport reported. Okay? Fabrizio was added to that. AC Milan informed Christopher Nkunku about decision to keep him out of team training. Nkunku can be available even on loan or permanent transfer out of Amorim's project at Milan. Clubs in Italy and abroad are in talks with his agents. Now, what I will say, the factual part of the matter seems to be Nkunku is available. Now, we know how Amorim works. When Amorim decides a player is not a part of his project, that player is not a part of his project. So, that much, as much as you can be sure of anything in a transfer window, if Amorim has said he's not part of the project, he's definitely available. He's definitely on the move. Like, look what happened at Man United. He's definitely available. Okay? What I would suggest then, the extra little bit from Ben Jacobs about it presenting an opportunity from Man United is probably slightly opinion, because it provides an opportunity to any club that would be interested in him. That might include Man United because they were previously interested in him. So the part of that I find interesting is that we were interested in him before. And we were interested in Tielemans before. Same with Santos. So the two we've actually got, we did have interest in like before. So that would follow a pattern, and he is available. And apparently, if you believe some reports, I don't know because I don't have sources, our club are determined to get one up on Amorim. So to take a player that they've sent out, he has sent out into the cold, would definitely be trying to get one over on him. But is it a case of people taking facts, taking 2 and 2, putting them together and getting 10? Because we were previously interested in the player, like way back when, and he's currently available because Amorim doesn't want him anymore. Therefore, obviously, he must be going to Man United. I don't know about that, guys. So what I want to do is see how many other clubs have been linked to him, because I've obviously seen the United side of it. Which clubs are linked? Hello, Jack. Jack Swagger in the chat. Hello to you. Paige says, fingers crossed Nkunku leaves Milan. Don't want him at Manchester United, though. Africa King thinks he'll end up in Turkey. So, let us see. So, he's a centre forward, can play as a second striker, can also operate in the 10 or on the wings. So he's a bit of a utility player, according to this. And apparently, Barcelona, shock, are interested. Leipzig are interested. Borussia Dortmund are interested. I'll be honest, this to me smacks of player is available because Amorim doesn't want him. Player's agent has told media at large anybody with historical interest is now going to be linked because he's available. That's what that screams of to me. There's nothing to say that we hold a current interest at all. There's nothing to say we've done anything whatsoever, made any sort of contact, or even close to looking at it. I reckon this is the agent trying to drum up some interest to get his player a move. That's what I reckon. So yet again, skeptical. Guys, what's the general feeling? Do you know what? Let me do a poll. Because I don't know how I feel about this. I want to know what the feeling is. In the chat about this. So I'm doing a poll. Do you think Manchester United makes any more signings this summer? Yes or no? Get your thoughts in the chat. United fans, rival fans. Try and be as honest as possible, guys. Do you think we make any more signings? Because see, the longer it goes on, I am starting to just feel like, and maybe it's because none of these links feel credible to me. None of these links feel in any way advanced to me. I kind of just feel like no. But I don't know if that's like reality or me just panicking. So I want to get the vibe from you guys, where you're at and what you're thinking about it. I can't even see. See, without these, my eyesight's getting so bad. See, without these glasses, I can't see a goddamn thing. It's just squiggly lines and a little bit of blur. So yous are all voting and I can't see what you're voting. Okay, let's see where we're at. Harold says Sander Berge is coming. Africa King says, I need that Sander Berge in the bag, man. So there's people that would like or think Sander Berge will be coming in. Paige definitely sees players coming in. Guest says United rarely fill me with hope. All Boxed Up says, I wouldn't have a clue about Man United signing anyone, therefore not clicked. That's totally fair. Paige says, hope it will be similar to Tielemans, nothing out there, and then a bomba. I hope so too. I hope so. But my hope is dwindling slightly. So at the moment, the poll is 65% saying yes, 35% saying no. So, I mean, that is quite a majority, to be fair. That is quite a majority. So I leave it running there. People can vote as we're carrying on. At the minute, I would like to think we're going to sign somebody else. I'm just struggling to actually believe it. Harold has just hit the like button. That's all right, Harold. Are you driving today? Are you working? I'm sure I thought you said earlier that you're driving today when you asked about the watch along, but maybe I misread it because the chat was moving like Speedy Gonzales earlier on. Now, let me see. How are we fixed for time, guys? How are we fixed for time? Right. So, we're going to do another couple of stories that are not about Man United. And then we're going to finish for today anything I haven't done. So I have stories on Man City, I have stories on Liverpool, I have stories on Villa, I have stories on Arsenal, I have stories on a couple of stories on Newcastle, and I think one on Spurs. So whatever we don't get done this show, I'm going to do on an extra lunchtime show tomorrow. So don't worry if I haven't got your club. I'm going to do them. I am going to do them. Just might not all be today. Shen says, you'll get players in before we bring anyone that can score. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, you were linked to the first guy. You were linked to the first guy the same as us. So maybe you'll get him. Africa King says, yeah, it's not great. I just think the boardroom is scared of making mistakes. That can happen. Like fear paralysis. They're in freeze mode and so as not to get it wrong. Harold, 1,275 kilometres today for Harold. That is a lot of driving. But we will keep you company because we will be back for the watch along later on. Now, this one is Man City. So from Fabrizio Romano, Burnley agree a deal to sign Max Allen as new centre-back from Manchester City. Here we go. Deal done on a straight loan. No buy option clause included. Back to Manchester City in June of 2027. Allen will undergo a medical on the 12th. So that's all done and dusted. But again, it's just another thing in the well-oiled machine. So we've been talking about this as we've been reviewing the squads over the last few days. Some of the squads are incredibly bloated. A lot of work is needed to shrink them. Some of them are not so bloated and they need a lot of work to grow them. Some of them need ins and outs because while the squad feels bloated, the quality of what's actually there isn't good enough for what's needed. We've spoken a number of times for City, Chelsea, kind of how efficient they are in the window, what they can do. They are like two well-oiled machines at this point. And this is just another example. Max Allen, straight loan to Burnley, deal done. I have also spoken a number of times on the level of loans that are organised from Manchester United young players. I think Max Allen to Burnley is a great move. It's a great loan. It's sensible and it will benefit him when he comes back to City. It's an intelligent loan that benefits the club and the player. Am I really asking too much from my club? Shem says, what time is the watch along? We have a game finally at the home stadium versus Hoffenheim at 3. I believe, let me double check it so I don't tell you a lie. Let me double check it. It's after that. It's definitely later than that. I just want to double check before I tell you lies. 3:45. So you will maybe be able to catch the second half. So the match kicks off 3:45. I'll probably be live from about 22. No, be a little bit before that. 25 to around that. But yeah, so kind of the match itself starts at 3:45. But I'll be here a little bit before that, I hope. once no food gets in the way, I'll be here a little bit before that. But yeah, so loan, 4 Maxilane, 2 Burnley, straight loan, very efficient from Manchester City. Another one, Man City. So Shea Charles has finally made his move. Shea Charles has gone, but Man City received £4 million from Shea Charles, 30 million transfer to Fulham from Southampton as a result of a sell-on clause included in his move to the South Coast 3 years ago. Now, what I will say is Man United have benefited from that. So not this deal, but we've had sell-on clauses that we've benefited from, and I think it's something we're going to see more and more and more of in the next windows, because almost every deal that has been announced this summer has had a sell-on clause. I think 95% of them have had sell-on clauses. So we're going to see more and more of this, where we see, imagine a club brings in €100 million in a transfer window, okay? It might be the case that only 60 million of that is from player sales, direct player sales, and the other 40 million is made up of 5, 6, 7 millions from different sell-on clauses each summer. So it's actually going to be much harder to keep a track of what clubs are able to spend for us, because there's going to be so many, like 4 million here, 5 million there. We got like 14 or something from the Mason Greenwood one. There's going to be more and more of that into the future. So it's going to be much harder to be able to tell exactly how much clubs are bringing in. But there's another couple of million, few million into the Manchester City kitty from the Shea Charles sale, which was ongoing backwards and forwards throughout the summer. But I just found it interesting because I do think we're going to see more and more of them. And I think anybody that sold players this summer, we're going to see sell-ons next season. More and more and more of them. Daz is going to be at Chester watching the Seals. Very nice, very nice. Let me see. Lucky says the club know not to panic. Berga and Rom are there. And we did speak about Rom the other day. I wouldn't have any issue with that whatsoever. I think he looks decent. There was nothing bad about it. And he has the release clause. Berga, I don't have a particular opinion on. I've only seen him at the World Cup. He looked all right, but I don't know enough about him to have a really strong opinion. Quite experienced, which I think is good. You need a balance, especially because we do have younger midfielders there. Don't think he's a crazy expensive as far as I know. So, like, yeah, if it went wrong, it wouldn't be disastrous. Do you know what I mean? We're not wasting a fortune. Not super glam, not super like exciting in the traditional way, but that doesn't really bother me, if I'm honest. Sometimes, like when you put everything all together, it looks better as a whole rather than when it looks like when it's in individual parts. So there's a saying like the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So the individual parts can look a little bit like, oh, I don't know. But then when you put them all together, it's amazing. So sometimes that's the way of it. Sometimes you don't need all of the superstars. What else are we saying? Okay, so on the poll, the poll's come down a little bit. The poll has come down a little bit. We've had more votes. So as it stands now, 61% think yes, Man United will make more summer signings. 39% think no. I mean, that's quite a high percentage. We're in the middle of August. There's definitely a bit of doubt around there. Definitely a bit of doubt around there. I hope we do. I hope to be wrong. I'm just a little nervous. I'm getting a little nervy is where I'm at with it, guys. But that is the end of the lunchtime show, because I have to go off, get a bit of lunch, sort myself out, and then we will be back. As I said, I'll probably be back anytime from 3:30 for the watch along today between Manchester United, AC Milan, pre-season game. And I will chat to you all then. Thank you all so much for being here. We've had loads and loads of people in the chat. Everybody getting involved. Everybody getting their opinions and thoughts. Really, really appreciated. As always, massive shout out to Rob Always United. Massive shout out to All Boxed Up. Thank you so much for your very generous super chats. Thank you to everybody for hitting the like, for chatting away, for subscribing to the channel, for being a beautiful teacup. Hopefully, I will see you back here around 3:30. If I don't see you 3:30, there won't be a 7 p.m. show tonight because obviously I'm doing the match. I'm doing a watch along, so there won't be an evening show tonight. But if you're not going to be at the watch along, there will be a lunchtime show tomorrow, even though it's Sunday. So if I don't see you later this afternoon, I will hopefully see you back tomorrow. We'll be talking about more transfer news for the other clubs I didn't get to today.